Hey Candy Fam, my name is David, and I'm here to give you the solutions for week 4 of the Stranger Things game presented by Netflix and Candy Digital. If this is your first time hearing about it, then head on over to netflix.candy.com and create a free account so you can participate in these puzzles as well. But essentially, each week for the past 4 weeks, they've released a series of puzzles for us to solve, and the fastest finishers of those puzzles have been able to claim some digital collectibles into their Candy accounts. And as usual, the new week began on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, so that was June 22nd. And if you're all caught up on the previous 3 weeks, then you can go ahead and jump into stage 4. If you haven't completed the previous 3 weeks, you're going to need to go ahead and do those first, starting with the Rainbow Room, then California, then Russia. Those are the first 3 levels. We've got solutions for those levels uploaded on the channel as well, so we're going to include some links in the description below if you need to go back and finish those. But otherwise, let's jump into the week 4 puzzles. When you log into the account, the first thing you'll do is connect to the game, and you'll see this location. And this time we're in looks like the attic of the Creel house. And just to look at, there's not too much to go on, but one thing that you can do in this particular level is there's a few clickable regions, and that's going to be these regions right here. You can click on them and it will zoom in on a couple images. And so in this case, if you click on all 5 of those spots, this is what you'd be able to pull up. And so we have 4 almost identical clocks. The only thing that's different is the time listed on them. And then we've got a 5th clock that's damaged and impossible to read. And so we knew pretty quickly that we were going to need to replicate that 5th clock, the one that we can't quite make out. But the only question is what the time should be on the face of that clock. And so we struggled with it for a little while, but eventually someone in the community recognized that the hands on the 4 clocks we could see, you could interpret the position of those hands to get letters. And what I mean is this. There's something called the semaphore alphabet, in which the position of 2 hands makes out certain letters. And so the 4 times we had gave us 4 letters. And so if we overlay those clocks with the corresponding letter, this is what we get. We get a V, an E, a C, and an N. And so it stands to reason that the missing letter to create the word Vecna is going to be an A. And so that tells us that on that final clock, we need to put the hands in the correct spot to make the A, which puts them at about 8:30, and it gives us this solution. And so you're going to want to recreate this clock, pixel for pixel, and get it just right with the 8:30 on the dial there. And that's the solution for puzzle number 1. Take you to this screen, let you know that you've got it correctly. And then, as usual, we had to wait to get the next clue before we could proceed. And so the following day, this would be 12 p.m. Eastern on June 23rd, we saw this image on Instagram. And so that image on the left is what they posted to Instagram. And then I've also highlighted on the right there, in the room, you can see the words "see no evil." And that's going to be important as well, because you have to not only recreate that image of Victor Creel on the light bright, but you have to take out his eyes. And so that would give you this solution. And this one's going to take quite a while to line up just right. As usual, it's a large image, so take your time, particularly in the middle where the reds and oranges overlap, where the oranges and the yellows. That's where most people have, tended to make some mistakes. But once you get that in correctly, you'll submit that and you'll be done with puzzle number 2. And this is a little different than the previous 3 weeks, but there were only 2 puzzles in week 4, as opposed to the 3 puzzles we saw in each of the previous weeks. And if you were one of the fastest 1,089 finishers for week number 4, then you'll receive an email within just a couple minutes to let you know that you were one of the fastest finishers and that you can expect to receive a collectible within the next 72 hours in your Candy account. But just because week 4 is over does not mean that the puzzling is done quite yet. One thing that they hinted at was that there were going to be clues hidden in all of the prizes, and those clues would point to an extra puzzle that the community would need to solve. And here is an example of the clues that the posters provide us with. You'll see on the left here, this is the 11 poster that was the prize for week 1 of the puzzle game. And on the right edge of the poster, you can just barely make out some light bright pegs. And the poster rotates left to right, and so when it rotates the other direction, you're going to see some pegs on the left wall as well. And so in the middle there, I've enlarged those pegs so you can see what it looks like. And they indicate what belongs in column 2, in column 36, and in column 1 of the bonus puzzle. And so in the top right there, that's what we have so far. So that's not just the clues from the 11 poster, but also from all 4 of the posters available from week 2 for the California puzzle, and from all 3 of the puzzles available from week 3, the Russia puzzle. And so now we're just waiting for the remaining clues that they're going to give us from week 4. And there's going to be 9 different possible posters to get from week 4, because most of the remaining characters were in Hawkins. And so that's, kind of what they're basing these prizes on. And so we've already been able to figure out that the clues they're giving us, they line up exactly with an actual light bright pattern, because there's an official Stranger Things light bright pattern set, and the pattern for the Demogorgon matches these clues exactly. And so we've already created the whole thing and tried to submit it, and so it doesn't work yet, but we believe at some point they're gonna turn on the community puzzle. Maybe it'll start next week on Wednesday, maybe sooner, maybe later. We're not exactly sure, but we just know so far that we're going to have to keep collecting all of the clues from the next 9 posters as well, plug them into the board, and make sure we have it exactly right, and it'll just be a matter of waiting for that community puzzle to officially begin. So even if you were too late to get one of the puzzles from week 4, then you're still going to want to complete week 4 to make sure that you'll be ready to complete the community puzzle as well, because there will be a digital collectible given out for the community puzzle, and it sounds like that one might not have a limit the way the first 4 weeks did, so just completing it should be enough to win. I'm sure they'll let us know more as we get closer, but for now, just get caught up and clued in, pay attention to the Discord, and be ready when the next puzzle starts. So I hope this video was able to help you complete week 4, and I hope you stick around, and we'll see you soon when the community puzzle begins.